What's up, ladies? This episode is brought to you by Vitamix. Who does not want to save time in the kitchen? You can also create healthier meals for your family and come up with really creative new ways to add in powerful greens and superfoods into your diet. If you're interested in checking it out, go to ewchannel.com/Vitamix, and you also get free shipping. So check it out. If you'd like to check out the show page for this particular episode that has everything we talk about, just go to ewchannel.com/8.
Welcome to the Empowered Women's Channel podcast, the home for vibrant living. Our goal every session is to inspire you with new and interesting ideas. Join us and let's change the planet together. So are you ready, Kate?
I'm ready, Bo.
Let's go! I love our intro, Kate.
That doesn't bring a smile to your face. What does?
I know. We keep saying that it reminds us of the Powerpuff theme tune, but it really does.
It totally does.
I love it how we do the fist guitar raises.
Go. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Oh, behind the mic, you never know what's going to happen to you.
I know. I wish people could see us. Well,
I know.
They might be
in
the future. Yeah, maybe. Well, today we have an amazing guest on that I met at a women's networking event.
Nice.
Lillian Ogbogoh, and I am so excited to have her on. Are you there, Lillian?
Yes, I am, Bo and Kate. Oh my God, your intro! You cannot help but giggle at your intro.
I knew you'd like that.
We did it just for you. Life's too serious, right? You got to throw it in somewhere, make it fun somewhere.
Now, I see here that you have so many talents. I just have to reel off a few of them. You're an international speaker. You're a sensuality discovery specialist, a transformational storyteller, and also a woman of empowerment, which we can totally relate to.
Amen, girlfriend.
Yeah. Could you give us a little bit of a background of your, or a story, should I say, about your journey on your yellow brick road so far and how you came to, do what you're doing?
Well, you know what? I think the easiest way to start, and I think most women will relate to this who are some way serving, what I call being in service, is that you fall off your own wagon and then you find yourself in what I call Darkville. And Darkville looks different from each person. Mine was, I discovered it an psychologically abusive relationship. And you know what? It's so funny because growing up, I grew up with understanding that abuse in relationship looked like violence. So I had my senses keen for it. Like if there was any violence, I'm out the door, really powerful, very confident, until I encountered, we'll just call him D. And it was so slick and so interesting how it all happened. And by the time I looked around, I actually didn't believe I was being abused, but I knew there was something wrong. Because relationships should not be that way. And, you fall off your wagon the first time, the second time, the third time. And the first time you think, oh, it's a fluke. Second time you think, well, you know what? I should know better. And then you become very hard on yourself. And then you become very hard on other people. And then you become harder just generally. And then I got to a point where I got tired of being hard on me. I got tired of blaming other people. And I got tired of being tired. And I decided to start back from the very beginning. And I realized that it all started with me.
Well, that's good for people to understand. I mean, if we can't start from a space of freedom and kind of rejuvenation ourselves, then we can't get back to the world and really even find our purpose in life at all, can we?
Looking at ourselves and our lives, and absolutely, and even realizing that we might, have a problem or something's not quite right as well.
Exactly, and you know what? It's so funny because it's there's a fundamental, what I call wonky thinking that we operate under as women. We believe that we have to compromise, struggle, and, we have to carry this big weight on our shoulders, and we have to work very hard. And if we're not working as hard as, 24, 34 hours a day and making that relationship work, and we're not, we are somehow slacking off. And for me to get to the point where I had to realize that my parents' relationship is not my relationship. My friends' relationships are not the relationships I want to live. I had to walk away from a lot of different relationships to actually, one, discover who I am. Who am I being in relationships? What do I want? What does the other person bring to it? And actually, I had to get to a point where I had to learn to give up the idea of a 50-50 relationship.
That's an interesting concept, a 50-50 relationship. That's an interesting way to put that.
Yeah, I had to give that up because if you think about a 50-50 relationship, it suggests that you bring your 50, they bring your 50, and it's a super 100. But really what it is, you bring your 50, which is usually half of who you are, because you don't want to bring what I call the crazy closet into the relationship. And so you keep the crazy closet to one side, and then you bring in this 50% of you, which you think the world ought to see. And they're doing the same thing. So really what you're getting is about 25%. So really you come to that relationship, but it's only a 50% relationship.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense. And I remember I was telling Bo the other day when we were driving around, we went to Phoenix the last few days, and I had read a book years ago, and the one thing that stuck out from that book, it was a guy's memoir, and he said he was looking for someone to join his already complete life, not to complete his life. And I just remember thinking that was something that stuck with me, the way I viewed relationships going forward from that point. And I thought, isn't that funny? We're all a bunch of for the most part, unfortunately, very half-baked people, like you said, for that 50%. And I think it kind of gets into scary waters when you're looking for someone to kind of be that other 50. So what you're saying is obviously there's a value and a beauty to being more of that whole person, even whether it's a romantic relationship or in any friendship or even being a great member of society, to kind of become more that whole woman, huh?
Oh, yes. There is power in coming with your whole self. There is power in showing up as the complete. It includes the good, the bad, the ugly, the crazy, all parts of you, the parts that we think traditionally we've been told, let's hide that away because no one wants to see it. No, you need to bring all of that, because all of that, the good, the bad, and the ugly, makes up you. And when you show up and you are full, like that book says, you want someone to add to your completed life, which means that you're not looking for someone to make you happy. Your happiness is not dependent on another person. You're not dependent on that person to give you a vision of what the future should hold. They're like basically they're supposed to be the cherry on top of your fabulous ice cream sundae of a life.
I like that. So can you give us some practical steps for those listening, maybe how they kind of go about going down that yellow brick road?
Okay, so first of all, like I said, it starts with you. The first practical step is something really, really easy. Is actually being aware of where you are. And I don't know if you know this amazing woman called Maria for Leo. She has a book out, and she has some great stuff in there. But one thing that I remember reading from her and quite a few other people that I've looked around and doing the work is that it starts with you. You cannot ask for something that you cannot give. So if you want to be treated as the most irresistible, delicious, loving person in the world, you have to cultivate that first. First of all, you have to fall in love with you. It sounds like a really strange thing to say, but yes, you have to start with you. So it's a day-by-day thing. So being aware of where you are. If you have bad days, accept that you have bad days. Experience it. Don't unpack and live in the bad place, but experience it, let it be, and then move on. No more self-flagellation, ladies. We have to give up the pain. It doesn't work. Even the Uppers Day people, it doesn't work. Self-flagellation does not work on any account. But we've been doctored into self-flagellation, that we have to punish ourselves for every mistake that we make. We are human, so we will make human mistakes.
That's so beautiful. Also, I know that when I first met you, you were giving a talk, and it was really inspiring, and you were talking about, I know a lot of ladies who are single also experience this, if you're sitting in a room in the corner and you're not talking to anyone, and you're a little bit shy, or, you're not yourself and you're not there, you're not present, no one's going to talk to you. And you kind of gave a few tips about, I think you called it the flirting gym. And
Yes.
that was great. Could you kind of expand on that as well for maybe some of the ladies out there listening?
Of course, I have what I call the 11 codes to be instantly magnetic and irresistible. So I talk about loving yourself first. And like I said, it will all come back to you. So this is where you actually fall back in love with yourself. You see yourself as desirable, as beautiful, so the world can see. You then work the confidence. Confidence is hot. It's in you black, green, and gray. You cannot escape this whole confident thing. If you don't feel it, act as if. Act as if you are what you want to be. So this is what I'm talking about, to be totally present with somebody, to actually be physically in a room, and to actually be in a conversation and treat the person you're talking to like they are the most important person in that room. It's an amazing secret, and it's an amazing tool, because once you can give someone that level of presence, you're instantly, regardless of who you're speaking to, more magnetic, more irresistible than anybody else, because you are present with people. Most of us are what I call walking absent-minded, because we are physically there, and half the time we are thinking about our Facebook pages, and we're literally thinking, oh, I need to send a tweet, I need to call this person, I need to have that conversation. And so you're not totally present wherever you go. And that's sad, because we lose out so much of the conversations and things going on around us. The added tip I was given was, and I didn't get to talk about this one, Bo, is showing the mean itch the door.
Oh.
She has to go. You know, and I know there are so many books out there that says, you know, why men should marry itches and all that good stuff. But for me, the mean itch, and you know, I have to, you know, I'm not sure who this is going out to. You know, we'll leave the B word over there and the itch over there, and you can join them up together. But you have to show her the door, because nobody wants a viper as a friend. There are times and places that is useful, but if your go-to space is the one that is mean, destructive, catty, you're not getting anywhere fast. And nobody wants to be that person in the room that's like, yeah, you want to watch out for her. And this is not about you not speaking your mind or standing up in your power and saying, I will not be mistreated, I will not be disrespected. There's a difference. And it's understanding that difference, because we seem to be in this world where the idea of confidence, if you ask the general public, what does a confident woman look like? The picture they paint is almost a mean itch. And I'm like, that's not confidence, that's bravado, that's something else. That is not confident, because I think it takes somebody of really poor standards to be rude to people that have not done anything to them. Or especially when you're out on a date and you're watching someone being rude to waiters or waitresses, and I'm like, my only thing is, you have to realize these are people who are handling your food.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's more fun to be happy anyway.
Exactly. I mean, you know, there's an old saying that goes, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. It's basic principles. The principle of what how to win friends and influence people are based on. If you're an itch, nobody will want to be around you. It's really that simple. If you were, and this is not about being a fake sweetness and light, because people can tell. People can tell the difference. This is about being someone that you add more to the world by you just being there. Instantly, the world takes on a new flavor just by you being in the room. So that's the power of you showing the mean itch the door, because when you can show up and make another person feel welcome, warm, and special, that is powerful.
Do you think there is something to the fake it till you make it kind of, maybe people don't feel as confident in a room, but if they kind of pretend, then they kind of become that role naturally?
Well, you know what? I love the idea of fake it till you make it. Some people get hung up about, oh my God, I'm a fake, I'm a fraud. So I go, act as if. The fake it till you make it, we all have to fake it till we make it. I mean, people who gain, you know, Oscars are faking it in roles that they are acting like they are giant 7-foot blue people with tails. And we give them Oscars for it. So if they can get Oscars, why can't we act like we are confident? Why can't we act like we are desirable? Why can't we act like what we want?
Well, and we are the stars of our own lives. No one else is going to be that for us, are they?
Exactly. And, who else can be as good at playing the role of you than you?
That's beautiful.
And hello?
Oh, are you there?
We just thought we lost you.
No, I think Skype had a moment.
Oh, it does that. Doesn't want this info out there.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about, the single ladies. What about people in relationships? What kind of advice can you maybe give them, like some tips, to kind of enhance that?
Well, people in relationships, and this is a really cool one. It's funny, I was having a conversation a couple of days ago with a married girlfriend of mine, and one of the things I say is remember that the same work you did to get him is the same work you do to keep him. Because it's all too easy to become complacent and to actually become like, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Because you have the ring on the finger. So it's remember that this person who you share a home, share life, but you have your day-to-day action, but this is still that person that made your heart go dum. This is the person that basically you committed to spending your life with. So without seeing him as that desirable being that he once was to you, remembering what attracted you to him. There's still this, it's people have said it so many times, but people forget that how important it is. Make time for each other. So whether it's date night Friday, date brunch Sunday, whatever it is, make time for each other.
Lillian, what are the ABCs of seductive body language? Speaking of
the ABCs
time.
of seductive body language. Now that's
everyone would want to know.
You know what? The ABCs is really simple. Smile, attention, and grace. There's a grace to it. When you're being seductive, you need to have your smile, attention, and grace. And I call it the ABCs because it is one of those really simple things. You want to get someone's attention, smile. And, Bo, you remember what I said about a smile being the most disarming thing on a woman?
Oh, yes.
Oh, we do not understand how much power we hold as women, that the moment we smile, we can stop a man in his tracks. Because he doesn't know what to do with himself after that. Especially when you have that megawatt smile down. Like someone like Julia Roberts, someone like Jill Scott. They have that smile that is absolutely electrifying. Now, you don't have to have their smile, but you have yours. Use it.
Right.
That's
beautiful. A smile goes a long way, doesn't it, Bo? Yeah, Bo and I have been talking just about, she and I both have realized that there are different seasons in our life when people seem to just gravitate toward us. It's very magnetic, and I feel like that's when we're living out of our purpose and our passions in life and making those kind of hard decisions to choose happiness. And that is a hard road to go down at the beginning when we choose to quit jobs we're no longer happy in or leave relationships that no longer serve us. But it seems like in the long run, I mean, my gosh, you give up a few things, you have a little bit of a shift happen, and all of a sudden people are just drawn to you. It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yes, it's powerful because you emanate this energy that says, I am awake, I am alive, and I am living. And there's something almost, for a better word, delicious about that. Now, Bo, when I met you, no one can ever accuse you of not being awake. There's something so vibrant about you that just instantly draws people to your side.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I do agree with that as well.
So, and so this is something that I say, listen, we're all going to go through what I call literally, whatever it is in our personal lives, we'll go through a version of hell. But the thing is, that's life. And that version of hell will teach us about ourselves. It will teach us about how strong we need to be. It will grow us. It will make us into different people. But suffering is always, we go through that hell without becoming tainted by it. We can go through all of that without losing our vibrancy, our sparkle, and our desirability, because once you allow that to taint you, you become hard, you become cynical, and there's nothing juicy, delicious, or yummy about that.
And you know, I totally agree with you there. And like from my own personal experience, I look back at like relationships and, you know, times that I've gone through that have been really negative, and I look back now and go, wow, I wouldn't be in the place that I am now if I hadn't gone through that. And if I do have a negative moment or day or something that's not going right, I always catch myself. And I think it's important to observe yourself as well. And just for me, I go, I don't give in to the moment of being like that. I'm like, what is this trying to tell me? What am I meant to be learning here? What is the lesson?
Yeah. And that's the awareness, and is being aware of yourself and saying, okay, I have these thoughts. And here's the thing, there's this misconception that, you know what, once you go through stuff and you learn stuff, you will never be bothered by your, what I call your gremlins, which is, you know, the little committee that meets in your head every once in a while. You will never be bothered by them again, and your life will be perfect 100%. And I'm like, no. The gremlins will come back. They will probably bring new ones, and they will probably grow a step into a different level of your life. But it's whether you decide to engage with them on the same level, or you move ahead and say, thank you for your comments, but I'm going to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's also important, don't you think, to like take in the small things in life that are around us every day, from the simplest things of, you know, having a roof over your head, or having a partner that loves you, or, you know, having a bed to sleep in that's comfortable and clean sheets. You know, it's those little small moments as well that I think, because we're so disconnected from everything, that people kind of forget sometimes to be aware of that and to be in the moment of that.
Oh, yeah. An attitude of gratitude is, oh my God, desirable, because once you're grateful for the tiny things, you'll get more things to be grateful for. And the more you're grateful, you have more things to be grateful for. And the thing is, a day that you go through where you don't laugh or giggle or share a smile with somebody is a wasted day. I don't care how productive you've been. I don't care if you closed a deal worth millions, but a day without laughter and sharing it with someone you care about is an unfulfilled day.
Yeah, laughter is so important, because I know since I've been spending time with Kate, like I have been so silly, like ridiculously silly, to the point where, you know, people are laughing at us from their cars because we're trying on beards in the car park.
Well, right. But that is something, though. I mean, you and I have talked. I laugh quite freely, but I haven't laughed like this in a long time, and it's something happens in my soul, and it was something that I go, I'm missing still that piece on it. I wish it was like that on a daily basis. What can I do to foster more of that in my everyday life? It's really important.
And that's really important. And there are a lot of women that need to be reminded that you know what, laughter, smiling, joy is part of their birthright. They don't have to be somebody else to gain that. They don't have to do anything to earn it. They don't have to show up as somebody else. All of these things that we're talking about are there for just because they are there.
And we all have access to it as well, you know. It's not something that, you know, we have to be serious because we have all these different roles. We can incorporate all of this into our lives really easily.
Oh, yeah. You know, I talk about the archetypes and the many different archetypes of women. And, you know, we grew up thinking, okay, now we're adults. We're supposed to, put all of that away and be one way. No, we're so many different types. We are Aphrodite. We are the lover. We are the mother, the child. And, you know, your child is what keeps you acting young and beautiful, because she's the one who wants to run out and play and giggle and laugh all day. And then your serious side has its purpose as well. But it's on every side of you.
And that just makes us really great female role models as well for, you know, a younger audience, or, you know, younger people around us.
Exactly.
Well, kind of putting you a little bit on the spot right now, what are the little things every day that are really important to you besides laughter? Do you have a little list?
Oh, the things are really important to me. There are a couple of friends that I have to speak to on almost a daily basis. Talking to my sisters. I reconnected with my two younger sisters recently, and I forgot how much of let's see what else. I actually love music, and so sometimes it's actually just coming home and listening to good music. And on my list, and I know this reveals the child in me, is actually what cartoons. So I come home, I put on cartoons, and yes, I watch my cartoons. I have to. It basically, I get a lot of information from it, and some of it are really old school cartoons. So I'm talking like Thundercats, the new versions that they've done, and they're like, yay! And it just keeps me happy.
That is awesome.
I love that. I love a good cartoon as well.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I'm a big kid
I think
at
we
heart.
should just get our girls together, wear our PJs, and watch cartoons for my next birthday party.
With green juices.
With green juices.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea for a party.
That actually does, a cartoon party. Talk about easy and uplifting. Everybody would leave with a smile on their face.
Yeah, and like our abs worked out.
Yeah, right? Well, Lillian, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Do you have any projects going on or upcoming speaking engagements you'd like to tell anyone about?
Yes, I have a dinner event coming up on the 25th of April. It's a secret dinner for 10 men and 10 women.
Ooh.
And yes, it's going to be in London. And basically, we are actually putting on this event with a sex coach. And it's going to be about how do we interact with each other when we're out in public. And we're doing the whole it's a singles event, but there's a lot of twists to it.
That sounds interesting.
You lead a juicy life, don't you?
One has to.
One has to. Well, we wish you so much luck on what you're doing, and we will definitely be spreading the word about upcoming events throughout the years that you'll be embarking on. And just for people who want to check out Lillian's work, you can visit her at www.lillianogbogoh.com. It's Ogbogoh. Is that right, Lillian?
That's correct.
Great. And you guys can check her out, and we'll also link to her through the empoweredwomenschannel.com. And Lillian, if you want to hold on the line, we'll close out the show and then talk to you off the air for a few. But ladies, thank you so much for joining us on another edition of the Empowered Women's Channel podcast. And people like Lillian will continue, and hopefully, Lillian, we can have you on again, but just continue to empower you wherever you're at in life to live your own journey, because again, like we mentioned earlier, everyone is just so different. No one can have the same journey. The yellow brick road looks a little different for everyone with our battle scars and our joys and our just everything we have to offer. So
exactly.
We're behind you gals, and just
we're so grateful that you're all listening as well.
So grateful. We hope you have the most beautiful day and
the most amazing day ever.
Check us out on Facebook and
follow
Twitter.
us on Twitter. And we've got a series of podcasts now, so make sure you have a look at all and listen. Actually, not look. Have a listen to them.
Have a listen. Yes.
And make sure you stay on to the very end as well, because we've got a little surprise for everyone, as well as our free gift that we give away if you come and subscribe to our website.
Right.
At the empoweredwomenschannel.com. But
we're wishing you a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye, ladies.
With grateful hearts, we thank you for joining this session of our Empowered Women's Channel podcast. We wish you an inspired day ahead wherever you are in the world. Remember to sign up for our newsletter at empoweredwomenschannel.com/subscribe. Instantly receive our fabulous free gift to you that you gals don't want to miss out on. Hello, Bo.
Hey.
What happens if you eat yeast and shoe polish?
You'd have a really bad tummy.
Every morning you'll rise and shine.
I don't think you would.
I think I agree. We are not held responsible, liable in any way, shape, or form for extreme transformation or empowerment in your lives upon participating in the Empowered Women's Network. Random acts of kindness and spontaneous desire to make the world a better place is completely your own doing. Feelings of wanting to throw around pixie dust and free the unicorns have been reported, and we cannot take credit in any way, shape, or form for this unpredictable outburst, either now or in the future days ahead. Sporting a random fake beard and wanting to take selfies in random places while sporting it are completely your own doing. The laughter that follows doing that very act is contagious, so watch out. The shift that may take place from pessimism to a glass very overflowing has been reported, as well as sudden desires to bust into radical dance moves and singing at the top of your lungs. Set an overwhelming need to greet others in public places such as railway systems and crosswalks with giant smiles and compliments are encouraged, as well as appreciated. The future effects of kindness and other such behavior towards strangers might possibly not be seen or even known in this lifetime, although the magical effects they have on others' lives is astounding. Only love at your own risk and in your own way, shape, or form, regardless of what others may think or judge. Be advised and know that you and you alone are solely, completely, unequivocally, 111% responsible for being a world changer. No excuses or late notes from mom and dad will be tolerated at this point in time. No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this blog or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes only and is in no way intended as medical advice, as a substitute for medical counseling, or as a treatment/cure for any disease or health condition, and nor should it be continued as such. Always work with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, prescription drug use, lifestyle, or exercise activities. This information is provided as is, and the reader/viewer assumes all risks from the use, non-use, or misuse of this information.